Mountain, Island, Lightning Bolt, Spell Pierce, Switchblade, Stab Wound, Red Mage, Blue Mage. Recording.
We're doing it.
We are.
You know what I'm not doing?
Shitting.
Like, I wish I could.
You literally just said, all right, enough talking about my poop. We're going to start recording now. And then you bring up poop immediately.
It's just current life events. I have nothing else going on in my life, so
let's say this
is all I got.
This episode, we're kind of on, we're racing against the clock because round poo is coming up.
Can we not, we need to not talk. I'm like torn. Like, this is the true me, but also, like, I want to have some, like, you know, professional. I don't know why I'm concerned about it now.
I don't either.
522 episodes into this podcast where I've talked about all sorts of horrible stuff.
I don't know why you're worried about it either. Like, this is not only who you are. This is what people.
I can't shit. I'm in hell. I'm in hell. My body doesn't know how to process food. My brain can't process my own thoughts. My mouth can't make words. I just don't know how I function. Quite frankly,
you're a miracle.
Truly.
Well, you know, I think what you need some help.
No.
You need some guidance.
Probably not in the areas that I truly need it in.
Yeah, so how about magic instead?
Oh, yeah, I'm terrible at magic, too. I need help there. So we're on track. Are we finally doing what I've always asked that you never do because you deny me happiness and expanding my mind at any chance? You want to keep me dumb and stupid and in the dark?
No, today is the day where we try to educate a goblin.
How to train your goblin. Oh gods, I'm so old and tired.
Is that the same of the segment?
No.
It should be, honestly.
Well, I'll think about it. The name, I'll tell you, the working title I had was Diabolic Tutor.
That's not bad, but I like the one with Goblin in it better.
Trying to educate a goblin?
Yeah.
Well,
Goblin Cram School.
Yeah, I think that there's something there. So I'll workshop it. We'll have a segment intro. Yes?
So I was right. We are finally doing the thing. You said no, but it's true. You're finally going to try and teach me about magic.
Yes, that is what we're going to do. Today, on Red Mage, Blue Mage, we haven't even introduced the show
Oh,
yet.
Yeah. Well, they know by now. It's episode 789.
You always got to worry about and think about the new listeners out there.
Who jumps in it? Who starts a podcast at the latest episode?
I do. Like, I with like a Mindscape, I listened to the newest one. It's like, oh, I like this, and then I worked my way backwards.
You're a monster. You always start at the beginning. How are you supposed to know the in jokes? You can't know in jokes if you start at episode 2,299.
Maybe Mindscape's a different beast.
I listen to every podcast I start for episode the first, and I plow through it until I get to the current.
That's wild. I respect that.
That is kind of the focus and dedication you could expect from teaching me
All right.
about magic.
Well, let's get to it. Cue currently unknown segments music.
Train a goblin. Train a goblin. Gonna teach a goblin how to play magic. You just let me go on. You don't stop me or interrupt me or anything. You want me to keep going? I'll keep going.
I literally paused there because I am imagining some fantasy world where I take that and add effects and sounds on top of that.
It's okay. Let me do a better one. Nope, that's all I got.
Let me try a better one. Nah, that's not gonna happen.
Nah, I can't top that. It's only gonna keep going downhill from now.
Okay, I want you to know you're not gonna get this kind of star treatment every time, but for this first segment, I really went all out for teaching you something.
Why?
So I've got a link there. Go ahead and click on it.
There's show notes?
Yeah.
I have to click it open. I'm not.
Oh my god.
Fuck off. You didn't tell me there were show notes in the beginning.
There's always show notes.
No, there's not. Because you have told me before. Don't look at anything. Don't worry about it. Don't go to the show notes. You did not tell me that there were show notes.
I didn't say that this time.
What's the episode?
The highlighted one.
God, fuck off. It's not letting me click it. Dear Professor, I opened up the file.
Oh my God.
But when I tried, it wouldn't load. And so I waited 22 minutes.
You're triggering
and
me right
never,
now.
it never opened up.
You are triggering me.
I'm trying, and it's not happening. So I guess I can't do the homework. Therefore, I should pass your class. Okay, there it goes. Finally. How to train a goblin to use Google Docs.
How to train your goblin.
How to train your goblin. That's actually really good.
That's the segment.
Wow, you actually made a Google Doc?
I made a presentation.
You shouldn't have. You really shouldn't have.
Are you looking at it right now?
Yeah, I'm not happy with the title.
So
this is not what I asked for.
So the title of this presentation is The ABCs of Control. Always be controlling. Which is my joke. That's like what I came up with off the top of my head. Go to the second slide.
ABCs is like the easiest of like acronyms to always be doing something.
Yeah.
So it's not like you came up with it at the top of your head. That just is a thing that exists in the world.
That's as top of your head as you can do. Like, I didn't think about it for 2 seconds. Here's the actual title. Actual title is The Basics of Drafting Control, using Cube as an example. So that is what the lesson is today, everybody, is the basics of drafting control. What, you not happy?
No.
No, you're not?
I'm not happy.
Well, look, you said you wanted to learn stuff, and...
Stuff that I was interested in.
But you don't need me to teach you how to draft aggro.
I mean, I'm not good at it either.
Well, maybe we'll do that in the future, too. But as the resident blue mage, it would be a dereliction of duty if I didn't use my first opportunity to teach you a little bit about control. And I know you've drafted control before, so I know you're not...
I know what you're talking about. I've never done such a thing.
And I remember when you did the Throne of Eldraine pre-release.
Don't bring up the past. I don't care about the past.
Let's look to the future then. I do want to, as a general disclaimer for our audience, and for you too, I guess, I'm a casual Magic player. The stuff I'm going to be talking about today is not anything revolutionary or new. These are just things that I have learned.
It's because I'm his target audience for this. Me.
If
he made this for me, not for you, for me. I bet it's just gonna be jokes at my expense throughout all of this.
If listeners get something out of it, fantastic. If they just get you complaining the whole time, that's also great.
Why do you keep trying to give this gift that I don't want away to somebody I don't want to have? This gift. It's mine. I don't want it, but I also don't want anybody else to have it either.
There's nothing more goblin than that.
I'm going to set this on fire now.
Okay, shall we get started with our lesson?
Go for it.
Okay. Next slide.
Wait, I have to click?
Yeah.
Shit. I have to follow along? Why aren't you just clicking it for me and it just goes?
I can't do that. Okay, so we're going to start very broad picture. You're building a control deck. What is the goal of the control deck? The goal is
Make my life miserable.
Yeah, basically. And to put that into more specific terms, you're trying to reach a board state where you are removing your opponent's threats faster than they can play them. And then once you've reached that state, you just win with some resilient threat of your own. So your opponent is playing threats. They're going to be playing probably cheaper, more efficient ones, but they're not drawing cards as fast as you. Eventually you draw more things to kill their stuff than they can play threats. That's the equilibrium. That's the stabilization.
So monotonous.
It's great. And you know what sounds monotonous? It's attacking somebody with your creatures every turn.
Something's happening.
All right, next slide. So these are the 3-ish elements of a control deck. There's only 3, and there's like a 4th one I want to address. So number 1, removal spells. This is pretty straightforward. These are cards that nullify your opponent's cards in some way. So some examples. You've got, next slide.
Oh.
You've got stuff like Go for the Throat, a 1 and a black instant, destroy target non-artifact creature. So like actual removal spells, creature removal. You got things like counter spells. That also counts. It's nullifying things that your opponent's trying to do. It also could include other stuff like Moat, for example, is an enchantment that makes it so that non-flyers can't attack. You could also count that as a way to nullify just anything that stops what your opponent is doing. That's what I'm going to call removal spells. Number 2, card draw. Also very straightforward. These are cards that net you cards. And the most straightforward way to do that is they just literally say, draw so many cards. So you got things like Think Twice, 1 in a blue, draw a card with flashback of 2 in a blue. Sphinx's Revelation, X, white, blue, blue, instant. Gain X life, draw X cards. There are other ways that you can net cards, but this is just the most straightforward way. Okay, great. Next, threats. Some kind of difficult to stop way to kill your opponent. And that's a key thing about the threats that you want in a control deck. You need them to be resilient. They're evasive, they're hard to target, they're hard to remove, stuff like that. So, for example, Sphinx of Dwar Isle. 4 blue blue for a 5/5 flyer with Shroud. So it can't be targeted. It's hard to block, it's hard to get rid of. That's what you're looking for. When you finally land one, you want it to stick. Questions so far?
How much longer?
You really are a student. All right, next. This is why I said 3-ish, because the last element is lands. Every deck needs lands. But the reason I bring it up is that you do need to prioritize the lands. Especially in Cube, and that's what the angle I'm coming at it from, lands leap up in priority compared to other draft formats. Yes.
Yes.
Yes, you agree?
Yes.
So lands...
When you're, it's like for me, it's like when you draft, it's your mana base is so important.
Very important. Especially in Cube where everybody has good cards. Like there's never a problem of, oh, I don't have enough powerful stuff. Everybody has powerful stuff. It's Cube. So the difference maker, or one of the difference makers, is who gets to play their stuff on time.
Right.
So lands become very high priority, and everybody's after them. So you want to fight over them early.
Right.
So that's why I thought it was worthy to mention. Okay, so to put this picture together of how a control deck works, you start in the early phases of the game by removing their threats. So they play a Rakdos Cackler, you force spike it.
My Cackler!
Yeah, you get rid of that shit. Or you will die to it. So you gotta remove it.
Fuck you.
So you're removing stuff, usually on a 1-to-1 basis. You're just trading off cards. It's fine. Step 2.
Sounds boring.
You cast card draw spells so that you can get more removal into your hand. So you cast Jace's Ingenuity, draw 3 cards. You draw a Swamp, a Cryptic Command, a Doomblade. Great. You repeat that step as necessary. You just keep going through that. You're removing their stuff, you're drawing more stuff. Eventually, you reach a stabilization point where you are drawing more removal and you've removed all their threats. Now they're kind of locked out. And at that point, you place some kind of resilient threat, like a Worm Coil Engine. So it's hard for them to deal with. Even if they kill it, you get tokens, like something evasive, something that can't be targeted, all that kind of stuff. Make sense so far? This is the basic game plan of a control deck.
Okay.
Okay. Tough. All right.
Are you gonna make me do something? I skipped ahead, and I don't like it.
Let's check your understanding.
No! I don't understand anything.
But do you really have any questions right now? I'll be happy.
Do I have questions?
Yeah, I'll be happy to answer.
No, I don't have actual questions.
Okay. So here's what we're going to do. I'm going to give you a set of cards, and you're going to tell me which of them, and there might be more than one, would be good candidates for a control deck.
This is, as an aside to the people that I refuse to give this gift to, I just want to talk to you and tell you right now, I forgot what I was going to say. Okay, I'm going back over to Kenny.
Okay.
What was I going to say?
The gift that you didn't want to give up.
Wow.
It's gone, huh?
It's because I can't poop. That's why it's just gone. I was gonna say something specifically, you audience member, the one who listens. Hi, Seth.
Hi, Echo.
Something. Oh, also Echo.
Hi, Xander.
So 2 members. Okay, 3. Okay, we've got 3 people.
Maybe more.
Man, maybe more. They'll
Tell
need
us
to
who you
talk
are.
to. Yes, red blue MTG. What is that? Is that what
you nailed it.
Yes, I was gonna tell you guys something, and then I literally just lost it. I turned away and my thought just...
Emphasis on the poo.
Okay, let's do your stupid thing.
All right. Yeah, so I'm going to give you a set of cards, and you identify which among them might be good candidates for a control deck. There might be more than one. Okay, so.
Oh, I feel like a dog. Am I going to get a treat?
Yeah.
If I get these things right?
Absolutely.
What we got here?
We've got Path to Exile, 1 white mana, instant. Exile a creature, and its controller gets a basic land.
Fuck that.
Pacifism, 1 and a white, enchant creature. Enchanted creature can't attack or block.
Boring.
Ajani, Color of the Pride, 1 white white. It can put +1/+1 counter on a creature. It can give a creature flying and double strike, and it can, as its ult, make a bunch of 2/2 white cat creatures. And then lastly, Mirran Crusader, 1 white white for a 2/2 human knight, double strike, protection from black, protection from green. Which among these are interesting to a control deck?
0 of them.
Is that your final answer?
That's just you're tricking me right now. Because these are all white cards. I don't know. I think I don't really like that. I don't want to give people mana advantage, even if I exile their target creature. It's like, yeah, you exile it, but you just also give them mana, so that sucks.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, pacifism, right?
You say pacifism is a control card?
I would say so. Yes, no, am I wrong?
You are correct. This falls into the category
Thank God! I hate being wrong.
This falls into the category of removal, which is one of our key categories. That's what we're interested in. But so is Path to Exile. It's true. It's not as good as, say, Swords to Plowshares, which is a white mana exile, and they gain life, which who cares about that?
Yeah.
But it's still 1 white mana instant, destroy any creature, exile any creature.
Exile, which is nice,
Yeah.
but at the same time, I'm like, I would pick pacifism over Exile if I got it in the first hand, just because I don't know.
You don't want to give them that land.
I just don't want to give them that land, and also like
one of the big advantages, because you're thinking about drawing Path to Exile early. If you draw it, let's say on turn 5, all of a sudden you don't really care about giving them the extra land.
Yeah, no.
And it deals with things permanently, whereas pacifism, maybe their creature has an ability that you really care about, and pacifism doesn't do anything about that.
Yeah.
But at any rate, these are 2 fine removal spells. A control deck would be happy to have either of them.
Okay, boo. Let's move on.
All right. Next up, we've got Tempest Djinn, blue for a 0/4 flyer. And it gets +1/+0 for each island you control. We've got Force of Will, 3 blue for an instant, counters a spell. You can also pay a life and exile a blue card from your hand to play it for free. Mole Drifter, 5 mana 2/2 flyer. When it enters the battlefield, you draw 2 cards, and you can evoke it 2 and a blue to just draw 2 cards. And Mind Control, 3 blue, an enchantment that controls enchanted creature.
What am I trying to pick now?
Which of these are interesting to the control deck? Which of these is a control deck really in the market for? And it might be more than one.
0 of them.
Trick question, 0.
Trick question, none of them. I don't like Force of Will. Seems inefficient. And you would have to pay 1 life and exile a blue card from your hand. I mean, life fine.
I should clarify here for this exercise, we're really just trying to determine like categories of cards that we're maybe interested in.
I get it. I'm just reading. Let me think. I feel like I'm being pushed.
Good.
Like, I'm trying to pick a card that I would build off the control deck that I would want to have. I don't like Mind Control just because it's like counting on the fact that maybe there's a creature that I will want to control in their deck, which maybe, but I would really depend on what else I've got going on in my deck. It's kind of like I guess it's not really, it is like a removal, isn't it? Because it's just basically, it's mine now.
Yeah. So like that's why I defined removal spells as nullifying your opponent's creature. Not necessarily getting them off the board, but making it so that...
But then if you're thinking about card draw, and it's kind of nice that this Mole Drifter like is a flying 2/2, and then you also get 2 cards, which is pretty fucking nice. So you get a creature and the ability to draw 2 cards for only 5 mana. That's nice.
Final verdict?
I'm going to go with Mole Drifter as one of them. Yeah, that's the only one I'm picking for me.
Yeah, I think that's probably the best pick of the cards here. Card draw spell, as you said. The flexibility is nice too. You can
evoke it if you wanted to.
You can play it for cheap just to draw some cards. Later in the game, getting a 2/2 flyer on top of 2 cards is awesome.
Yeah.
Mind control, I think, is really good, especially in Cube. Like, in Cube, in most circumstances, your opponent will have a creature that you're happy to have.
Like, here's the thing that's going through my mind right now. So, this is Amber actually dropping her persona of Red Mage and, like, actually being interested in, like, the efficiency of costs and how things are played out. Like, Tempest Djinn is something I would have picked, like, when I first started playing Magic. Because it's flying, and I have, like, basic island. I get, like, +1 for each island I control, and I'd be like, oh yeah, cool, I'm gonna have so many islands because I'm playing a blue control deck or whatever. But it's really not that great, like, to me. Like, yeah, I might have a bunch of islands and stuff, but once you start splitting your deck, you go into 2-color, and then, like, then it becomes like, are you really worth it? There are better cards I would rather put in my deck than you.
For sure.
And also thinking about, like, lands being destroyed and that kind of stuff, which is in itself its own form of control. So
Yep. I think, like, the thing I care about most here is identifying, okay, this card right here, control deck not interested in.
Yeah. Like, it doesn't really do anything. Like, it's not even that good of a, like, okay, it's flying.
Right, exactly. It's evasive, but it's not a resilient threat. This doesn't fill that role for a control deck.
No.
Very good. Okay. Maybe we should skip ahead.
To where?
Going down to prioritizing picks. Unless you want to do more of these exercises.
What time is it?
6:34.
23. No, that's not. I was, like, looking at time. So okay, I guess how many fucking slides did you make? Oh my God, Kenny. What have you done?
Let's go to prioritizing picks.
There's 323 slides in this slide deck.
This is the teacher in me, always worried if I have enough material.
Holy shit.
It'll be fine. Let's go to prioritizing picks. So, now we know the kinds of cards that we want. We want removal spells, card draw, we want resilient threats, and we want lands. So how do you decide which ones to take at what point? So, Tier 1, the first thing that you're going to want to fight over and pick are lands. And not just lands, but things that fix your mana. So this might include things like artifacts as well. These are the things that everybody's going to fight over, especially early on, and they're going to dry up really quick. So you want to take lands that are going to fix you. And especially you want to take things in the control colors, but we'll talk about that in a minute. So that's Tier 1. Take those early. Tier 2. This is a pretty big chunk because it's both removal spells and card draw kind of fall into the same bin. This is going to make up the bulk of your deck, and you want pretty much equal parts, maybe leaning a little bit more on removal. It just depends on what you get. This is the bread and butter. This is what you're taking in the middle of the pack, and in the first 2 packs maybe. Then finally, Tier 3 is your resilient threat. The most important thing with control is taking control of the board and stabilizing. How you win the game after that is almost irrelevant. There are lots of ways to do it. You just need to find a couple.
Okay.
So you can save that till the end. So, I want to go through these different tiers and talk about the high priority picks, what you want to be on the lookout for. So for lands and fixing, by far the biggest thing you're going to want to fight over are dual lands. It's like Volcanic Island, which is both an island and a mountain, and the fetch lands, the ones where you pay a life, tap it, sacrifice it, and go look for example, either an island or a mountain. Those two types of cards are deadly together, of course. Dual lands are like the most powerful lands that have ever been printed. The fetch lands in combination can turn into triple or quadruple lands, because they can go get, like, Scalding Tarn can go get the blue-black dual land, for example. So you want as many of those on color as you can get.
Okay.
Pretty much any duel that touches blue, you're in the market for. Blue-red's great, blue-black, blue-white. And for fetch lands, anything that touches those colors is good. I also include things like mana confluence, things that just tap for any color of mana. If you're trying to do some nonsense, that's solid. And then the signets, or other, cheap mana rocks that give you colors. The ones that are on color, especially, like Dimir Signet, tapping for blue and black. High priority. Take those early.
Okay.
All right, next. Removal. The cheaper and the more efficient, the better. So 2 mana counter spells, like the OG counterspell, Mana Leak, Remand, all very good. 3 mana counterspell is not very good. You'll take them, but they're not very high priority. 2 mana counterspells, that's where it's at. 1 mana removal or 2 mana removal spells, also good. Dismember, your Doom Blades, that kind of thing. And then kind of middle of the road are sweepers. You don't want a lot of sweepers like Day of Judgment, but you can use a couple of them probably. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Next, your card draw spells. These are fairly interchangeable, but the most important kind of card draw spell that you want are instant speed card draw spells. Because what you ideally want to do is you want to pass a turn to your opponent and have both a counter spell and an instant speed card draw. Because then if they play something, you counter it, and if they don't, you draw cards at the end of their turn. Mm-hmm. That's the best. So Factor Fiction, Dig Through Time, Jace's Ingenuity, that kind of stuff. Mystic Confluence is a great card because it can draw you cards. This is 3 blue instant. You choose 3 modes, and you can choose the same one more than once. So the modes are Counterspell unless they pay 3, Bounce a creature, draw a card. So this lets you do things like Counterspell, draw 2 cards, which is just a huge beat. And then the best card for control, unsurprisingly, Jace the Mind Sculptor. Take it first every time. Always take it. And
burn it.
This kind of gets into the next category as well, the resilient threats. So the kinds of things you're looking for here are creatures that are hard to deal with. So things like Dream Trawler from the newest set. 2 white, blue for a 3/5 flying lifelink Sphinx. Whenever you draw a card, it gets its power boosted. When it attacks, you draw a card, and you can discard a card to make it hexproof. So this thing flies, so it's hard to block. It draws you cards, so it's a card advantage engine. It beats them down, so it kills them, and you can protect it. It's the greatest. Or things like Celestial Colonnade, so man lands can be really hard to deal with threats, because sorcery speed removal doesn't hit them. Or things like Grave Titan. It's not like it's reasonably easy to kill, like with a Path to Exile or anything. But the fact that it makes a bunch of extra tokens makes it resilient. And this is also why Jace is great, because Jace is his own win condition on top of being a card advantage machine. So,
Poo on him.
Questions before we go to our final activity for the day.
No. And I see that there's another assignment thing.
That's right. So, this one, you're going to be looking at basically a pack as if it's the first pack you're getting in a cube. And you wouldn't normally go in and say, I'm going to build control. You would let the pack talk to you. But for this activity, you're trying to build a control deck.
Okay.
So keeping in mind the kinds of cards you want and the priority of how you should pick.
This is pack 1?
Yes. And it's 2 slides, actually.
Ugh. Kenny, are we going back and forth?
So you can look at both these slides, and you're trying to tell me which card you would take out of this if you're trying to build a control deck.
Right away?
Yeah.
Where are the goblins?
I don't think there are any goblins here. There's some red cards, but no goblins.
Okay, I have to read through a lot of cards.
That's fine.
So
I can cut material.
Also, I'm having a hard time reading stuff because I have a tiny laptop, and I can't have a lot of things up at the same time. But don't care about these fucking things. Ooh, Polluted Delta.
Okay, so you're highlighting that. Just to read through the cards here, we've got Student of Warfare, Archangel Avacyn, Dragonlord Ojutai, Inspiring Vantage, Sword of Body and Mind, Polluted Delta, which Amber's already highlighted, Golgari Signet, Honor of the Pure, Daze, Ancestral Vision, Bone Shredder, Demonic Tutor, Magma Jet, Pia and Kieran Nalar, and Regrowth.
I mean, I'll be honest. I'll pick Polluted Delta. I would pick Polluted Delta first.
You are absolutely correct. I think that is 100% the right choice to make here. It's a land. It's a fetch land. It's on control colors. People are going to take that early. And because you took a land, it keeps you very open. So whereas if you took something like Student of Warfare, that's a very narrow kind of card, whereas the land keeps you open. All right, great.
Right.
Let's go to pack 2. Or pick 2, rather.
Oh, man. Tolarian Academy.
Yeah, so this time we have Selfless Spirit, Craterhoof Behemoth, Tolarian Academy, Edric, Spymaster of Trest, Vindicate, Thieves of Sanity, Hero of Bladehold, Vendilion Click, Ponder, Inquisition of Kozilek, Buried Alive, Duretti, Scrap Savant, Fiery Confluence, and Channel.
So if this is my second pick, second pack or whatever, I would have a hard time choosing between, because like I think it's too early to pick like I'm gonna do a bunch of artifacts, but I would probably, my hand would hover over Tolarian Academy because I'm still trying to build up my mana base, but then also Ponder's super good because it's so fucking cheap. I hate that you're probably like, oh, she's, fuck you, don't smile. I can't see you because I have this screen up, but I can feel you just being happy, and I
can feel you absorbing knowledge right now.
Fuck off. Yeah, I think I would probably go with either Ponder or Tolarian Academy.
Which one would you take?
Right now?
Yeah.
Ponder.
Ponder is the disciplined choice. That is what I would also take out of this pack. It's on your colors. It's a great cantrip. It's a nice, safe, early pick. Fits right in. Fantastic. All right, you got one more. You're 2 for 2.
Fuck off. I hate it. I'm looking.
All right, this time we've got Elish Norn, Grand Cenobite, High Tide, Azorius Signet, Ajani Vengeant, Godless Shrine, Mindslaver, Niv Mizzet the Firemine, Council's Judgment, Deceiver Exarch, Treasure Cruise, Cabal Ritual, Thundermaw Hellkite, and Sakura Tribe Elder.
Ooh. So again, we're still building up. So even though we see that nasty card Mindslaver that you love so fucking much, right now, third pick, it's great, but like I'm kind of like afraid somebody else would get it. But honestly, I think I would go with Deceiver Exarch because he's a 3 color, like it costs 3. 2 and a blue, it's flash, and when he enters the battlefield, choose 1 untap target permanent you control, and then tap target permanent an opponent control. So I think I would go with that one, just based off of its 3 mana. It's an instant, can be played as an instant. It is a creature and has a thing. I think that's the one I'm gonna go, but I'm just being like quick to choose right now.
I'll wait till you say final answer.
Okay, because everything else is just like I've already am pretty much in the blue-black zone.
True.
I mean, High Tide's pretty fucking great.
So that's an instant.
But it's only until end of turn.
Right. So
and that's not that. It's actually not that great.
True.
That's like a good card. If I had already. No, I wouldn't take High Tide. It seems like it's going to be good, but it's only for a turn.
That's a good decision there. High Tide is like a really big combo card. Like you're trying to go off in 1 turn, and that's not what we're trying to do.
I'm sticking with, I need to get a creature in my deck, so Deceiver Exarch.
Okay, so
that's what I would choose.
Sure, that's fair. So I don't think that we would actually want to go with this.
Why?
Well,
are you wanting to do ritual?
No, I would go
Cabal ritual because you need black mana.
No.
What?
I think I would go with either Godless Shrine or Azorius Signet or Treasure Cruise, and I would probably go with Godless Shrine or the Azorius Signet. The high priority for us early on is the mana and the fixing. We already have a Polluted Delta, which can fetch us the Godless Shrine. So we're already establishing a pretty cool Esper mana base if we do that. And the same thing goes if we take the Signet. We get a little ramp, we fix our mana, things are looking nice.
I don't agree with you.
The problem with the X-Arc, it wouldn't be bad to take like some sort of creature removal spell type thing, but the X-Arc doesn't permanently deal with the problem.
It does fine. Don't tell him or it or they or whatever this creature cleric is that they aren't doing the best job that they can possibly do.
They are doing the best, and they do really good as a combo piece with Splinter Twin or similar.
That's exactly what I was thinking. I was hoping for. I was gonna get that next.
So something we have something we haven't touched on, and just as like a brief final note, this was a basics of control. There are all kinds of different ways you could go. I actually think it is very defensible to take the X-Arc and hope you get the other combo piece, like invest in it early.
Right. Well, and that's the thing, right? Is when you play Cube specifically, you know what potentially could come up.
Exactly. So you have to be thinking about that as well. So yeah, I think you did very well, and I am happy to give you a certificate of completion.
Where is it? You did 296 slides, but I don't see a certificate.
I will make you a certificate if you want.
You better make me a certificate.
I will make you a certificate.
And I want everybody to know that despite me hating control, I'm perfect at it.
You did well. You did well. I might definitely.
The head turn. You guys just can't appreciate the head turn that Kenny does when he's dismissing what I'm saying.
When he's specifically lying. I'm not lying. I'm
amazing. I'm an amazing Magic the Gathering player. It only took me one 38-minute session to become a master at control.
Truly. I want to see it next time we draft.
I can't. It's like you said early on, like I was listening, you can't just decide to do control. You have to let the cards tell you. So
very true.
A fucking plus master's degree control.
And with that, we wrap up our first How to Train Your Goblin. I don't think I did it. It's an ongoing process.
What are you talking about? I'm amazing.
You learned. I don't think you've been trained.
What do you... Fuck you.
So what did you think of this, Amber? You want to do more of these in the future?
Yeah, but things that I want.
Okay, you and I will convene, and I want to hear what you want to learn about.
I don't know. I have no idea.
We will...
I can't know what I don't know.
Yes, one of your famous Amberisms. Okay, well... maybe our listeners should hit us up with topics that I can teach you about.
Yeah, because I don't know anything about Magic the Gathering, to be quite honest. It's just stuff I make up.
You know a fair amount, and you know you do.
Okay, quiz me.
On what?
Just ask me a Magic question, see if I can answer it.
Like lore? Like...
Just anything, Kenny. Anything about Magic the Gathering.
What is the Twitter handle of the Magic the Gathering podcast, Red Mage, Blue Mage?
It's Red Blue MTG, you sly son of a dog.
That was a good segue. And while we're talking about Twitter, I'm at Wolfmere on Twitter.
I'm at Rocket Orca.
And until next time, I'll be representing a counterspell or a card draw spell.
What? Oh, I have to sign off. I learn.
Good day.
That sounds really stupid. I'll always be crunching on knowledge.
Wink.
Wink.
All right.
Do that one. Don't do the other one.
What if I do them both?
Fuck, don't let people know.